What's up everyone, Pyro from Hammer Bros Gaming. Today we're going to be taking apart and cleaning an Xbox One S. So this one, quick, first thing, a little Easter egg, hello from Seattle. Microsoft likes to hide little Easter eggs on their consoles. So this one was bought, I believe, refurbished from GameStop, and naturally, never trust GameStop to refurbish your consoles. You should definitely take it apart, make sure it's clean, make sure that the thermal paste is right. We'll start off by undoing some tabs on the side. It should be easy enough to press in a little bit and get them to undo, I guess. If you have an option besides a screwdriver, that would be great. It's kind of a brute force method, and I'm not proud of it. Especially for this tab in the corner, this is like the key to the whole thing. Once you can get that taken apart, then the rest of the console, the rest of the bottom will come off pretty easily after that. I don't know why I didn't go for the front. I don't know if I could have, the front wanted to come off without that tab being taken out. But in any case, we do the same thing on this side as we did the other side. There's some of those tabs. If you find them, you should be able to push in, unclick them, or pull down, or whatever. They'll come out pretty easily. We'll do the same thing on the front, slowly work our way down, clicking all the tabs out as we go. Yeah. So now we need Torx bits, two different sizes. I want to say it's T6 and T8. Don't quote me on that. As you'll see here in a second, we have two different size screws, and thankfully Microsoft actually labels them, unlike, some other companies. So our C screws are the shorter ones that I just took out. Thanks for showing us, Pyro. And the F screws are going to be the longer ones that go all the way through and hold the case, the metal case, to the cover. And it's kind of cool, they're different colors, so if you take a quick picture, you'll be able to put them back where they go if for some reason it's not labeled or whatever. And once all the longer screws are out, you should actually be able to pull this cover right off. You'll still have to take all the shorter screws out in order to take out the power supply, the hard drive tray, and disk tray, all the things that are in there. As you can see, it's pretty dusty, pretty dirty. This is why we do it. That cover should just slide off, and that back panel will kind of, once the cover's free, it'll just kind of fall out, I guess. So now we're into the system. As you can see, it definitely needs to be cleaned. I'm trying to think, I think it was used for a couple of years. A year before, decided to actually open it up. But in any case, we'll try not to shame GameStop too hard. You have two connectors on the hard drive caddy, two connectors on the disk tray. You have a power and a SATA data cable, I guess. Not sure what the exact name is, but you know what I mean. So I struggled getting the power supply out. I'm not sure if I think there's a clip on it because it kind of looks like a 6-pin power for a PC power supply, if you know what I mean. In order to take the rest of the PCB out, or to take the motherboard out, sorry, we need to take this front panel PCB off. There's another one on the side for the Wi-Fi and whatever they use for the controller. On the front here, there's a little plastic bracket. We'll remember that when we go to put it back together. I don't think you'll be able to attach the front PCB without it. And this is the Wi-Fi that I was talking about earlier. It's really nice. They don't have that super long cable running to the front like they do on, I believe PS3s have that, and the older style Xbox Ones. It just hooks directly into the motherboard now. So before we can take the PCB out of this metal case, the motherboard, we need to take the, I guess you can call them the GPU or similar mounting screws, the die mounting screws out. Alright, this metal tab, I don't know. I guess the purpose is holding that USB connector down, but that tab gave me so many issues. Now at some point here I do stop recording and I take everything actually outside and dust it out, clean it all out, make sure every part is free of dust. Okay, we're going to pause here. Let's talk about this. In the top left there, you can see I have an X-clamp tool. I don't know, won't be able to point to it, but you can find those on Amazon and stuff. They're relatively cheap. If you buy one, make sure it is highly reviewed, I guess. I don't really know. I didn't have much luck with it. I think it was just bending when I was trying to use it. So instead of actually using that tool, which is much safer than what I'm doing here, instead of using that tool, I use a screwdriver. As you can see, there's kind of a little slot. It's where it clips on to the post that holds the heatsink down. If you put a screwdriver in and you twist it, it should release it from the post. There's a groove on the post that it sits in. If you twist it, it should release it. However, do this at your own risk. If you slip and you hit the motherboard, you risk scratching some of the traces, and if that happens, then it's really bad. You definitely only do this if you're comfortable with doing it, and you can do it very gently. So anyways, that is what I do here. I slipped. Oof, scary. Try to choose posts that maybe are not near any of the SMDs, the small capacitors and stuff. Really, you only need to do 2 of the posts that are next to each other, and the rest should just kind of be loose enough to free itself now. Yes, terrible thermal paste. It's all dried out on the die and cooler, so it's a good thing we're taking it apart. Always 90% or better isopropyl alcohol. We're gonna clean the die mostly. You can always clean some of it next to the die, but be very careful. There's, again, a lot of SMDs in there. If you knock any off, that's bad news for you. A better way to do it than using a Q-tip, as I'm doing, would be a soft bristled toothbrush. That could help you clean some more of it out. And I think at this point, this stuff was so dried, caked in there, that there was nothing that was going to take care of it. Good news about that, it's not going to affect performance or anything. Really, you don't need... Oh yes, look how dry, disgusting that is. Oh man. So back to the die and cleaning the thermal paste around it. You really don't need to take care of it. It's kind of ugly and gross looking, but look at that shine. But it won't affect anything. Oh, look how shiny that is. Alright, so we're going to apply thermal paste. And my theory is always more is better. Obviously, you don't want to make a giant mess, but don't skimp on the thermal paste, please. I like to do the squish down method where you pile it in the middle and you squish your heatsink down on. You need to have enough on there to spread it out to all the corners. I've never been one to try to spread it out and make a nice even layer and all that. I don't know. I guess you do what you think is best. Alright, so the way we want to do this, when we put the heatsink on, you don't want to move it around too much. And we want to flip it over. You're going to have to press that X clamp down so it sits in all those the legs, they sit in the grooves. You might have to take it back off again if the grooves, if it doesn't line up or whatnot. Make sure you reconnect the cable for the fan. It should be facing the corner. Obviously, there's only one way that you're going to be able to put that heatsink back on, so the cable reaches the connector. So we put that metal tab back on right now, but it's going to fall out a few times. I think I cut that from the video, so yeah. That thing's a pain. We connect the cable to the power supply, the power supply cable to the connector. Oof. Set the power supply back in. On the bottom of it, there's going to be, it's like plastic tabs that poke through. They go through the PCB and outside of the metal case, as you can see right there. I think I was trying to show that. And one thing we're going to have to do with all of these parts inside is we need to put screws into the feet, or I guess the power supply doesn't have feet, but it has places for the screws. Screws for the the GPU, CPU die. As always, anything like that, go in a cross pattern. Gives you even pressure, and we'll make sure the thermal paste is kind of settled evenly, flat. You're not getting high points. Always best practice. Alright, we need to put a little tab back in, or bracket, plastic bracket. We're going to put the front panel PCB on. Do the same thing with the Wi-Fi panel. Easy enough, right? Well, this is a good opportunity to say, if you are finding this video helpful, consider liking, subscribing. We post videos every week. And yeah, a lot of it's going to be gaming related. Every once in a while we'll have a hardware video like this. We also have a Discord that we try to grow and post on every day, whether it be stupid memes or, you know, silly things like that. But we also discuss some other things. You might also get a sneak peek on some of the things we have coming up. Ooh, isn't that exciting? Don't forget to attach your connectors. And this hard drive tray. You won't be able to mistake the connectors. As you can see, hard drive tray. Those connectors for the hard drive run perpendicular, I guess, if you had it facing you. If you had the console facing you, as in the front, you know what I mean. And the disk tray ones are parallel. So we have to hold the hard drive caddy down, flip it over, put screws in the legs to make sure it doesn't fall out while we're trying to reassemble the rest of it. And we'll have to do the same thing with the disk tray. As you can see here, I put that metal tab back in again. I think I cut most of them out, but I probably put it back in like 5 or 6 times. Ridiculous. Alright, we finish up with all the short screws. Now we can put the plastic cover back on the console. Oh, well, I guess first we need to put this one on. And then we'll put the plastic cover back on the console. As you can see, this back panel, I try to put this on first and slide the cover over it. Just wait. Slide the rest of the cover over and then put the back panel on. So next time I do that, next time I have to take one of these apart, that's what I'll do. Alright, and you'll see that it'll just have some grooves that it needs to slot into, and then the tabs on the top will click in and it will be like so. Perfect. Now we put the long screws in. And of course, as I've been saying this whole time, they are labeled. And easy enough. Put the bottom back on, make sure the big tab is where it should be, click it all into place. We are good to go. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you. We'll hopefully see you next time. Have a great week.